All right, good afternoon, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Darlack coming to you from YouTube. All right, today you boys and girls are going to be working on a new project called Stacked Birds, and we are going to be talking about spatial awareness. So spatial awareness means that you are aware of what's going either around you or around your paper or on your artwork, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to make 3 stacked birds that are standing on top of each other so that the top one can smell the super tall flower, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do is I want to talk to you about spatial awareness. Now, do you think that if we did this, the bird would be able to do the nice and super tall flower right up here? No. And also, would we be able to see all of their legs? No, because they're one on top of another, okay? I like to spread my birds out, and I like to make the middle one facing the other direction. So I'm going to put my middle one like this, and this is the bird's body. And then maybe I'm going to put this one here, and then that last one will be up towards the top. Do you see how that's nice and spread out? What about, should we put our birds nice and spread out over here? No, because then we wouldn't be able to see that one's head, right? So we need to make sure that it's in all the way on the paper, and that's so that it's nice and spread out. Now, here's the tricky part. I'm not giving you 3, okay? So we're gonna do the first one, and then you're gonna build from there. And the easiest way to do that, the trick, is to put that middle one right in the middle, right? Okay, so before we do that, that was just to remind you or to talk to about spatial awareness and making everything nice and even in your picture. So the first thing that we need to do is what? You got it. We're writing our names. So I'm going to write Mrs. Darlack. You write your name. And then we're going to write our class code. Okay. And a reminder of what your class code is. Hopefully everybody knows it, but it's your teacher's, the first letter of your teacher's last name and the grade you're in. So R2 or, what is it? Yes, M1, okay? And then I also do want you to write your table color just to make it easy, just to make sure that I'm able to give you your papers when it's time to paint. All right, and then after you do that, you're going to flip your paper over. Make sure that it's nice and even on your picture. All right, good. All right, so like I said, you're going to get one bird template, okay? And we're going to put that right in the middle of our paper. Now, we have to decide which side our flower is going to be on. So you can pick, it doesn't matter to me which side you're going to put your flower, but I'm going to put my flower up here. Okay? And then I'm going to do a nice big tall stem, and then we'll do some leaves. Now, if I want my top one to be able to smell the flower up here, then this one should go the other direction, right? So I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to trace it. Okay? So again, the hand that you write with should be holding it down. I'm going to start here, trace all the way around. Okay. And I'm going to flip it. And if you want to make it go into the flower, that's okay. I'm just going to make it maybe just a little bit inside the flower. So I'm going to trace that. And then I'm going to trace my bottom one. We're making sure that it's nice and even, right? Or as even as you can make it. Scooch it over just a little bit more. Trace it. All right, at this point, your substitute will hopefully pause that video, my video, and walk around and make sure that everybody's gotten this far. And if she stopped it before that, that's okay too. We'll stop it again just to make sure that we get this far. Okay, I am going to erase this part of the petal because my bird is going to be on the before the petal. So the petal is going to be behind. So I'm going to erase that little part. And that's okay if I erase a little bit of my bird. I'll redraw it. There we go. Now we're going to add little triangles for our beaks. So she's going to be reaching in, she or he is going to be reaching in to smell that flower. I'm going to do a little smile. Then this beak will go on this side, and this beak will go on this side. If you want to do a smile, that's fine. If you want to just leave it as a triangle, that's fine too. Okay. Now, for the eyes, I'm going to have you switch to a black crayon because I want to make sure that if you draw your eye open, then it's big enough so that you can, if you draw with a pencil and then try to trace over it, sometimes it gets too itty bitty and it's hard to see. So I drew it with my pencil. I drew it with my crayon. I'm going to draw one, maybe little eyelashes. You can do cutie eyes. You can do squinty eyes. That's what I'm going to have looking up at that bird. So I'm going to do a googly eye and then looking all the way up. So she can see if her friend is being able to sniff that flower. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go back to our pencils. And you are going to give your birds little legs. So we're just going to have them standing on top of each other. Such nice friends. Maybe I'll do one right there. Okay. And then the last thing that we're going to do is we are going to add the wings. And you can decide how you want to make your wings, but it's kind of like a raindrop shape. And so I'm going to have this bird has the wing nice and low, just kind of by her sides. This one is going to have it up. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to go around and then back up again. And again, this wing is going to be in front of her back and her friend's legs. So I'm going to erase those. And then I'm going to have this one's down. So the point kind of goes towards the tail. The points are near the tail. So I'm going to start with my point. And this one has her arms down too. Okay. Now we are all finished. Just want to double check. Yep. Now we're all finished with that. We are going to go over our lines. And it's up to you whether you want to use black or if you want to use different colors. I'm going to use different colors just to make it a little bit more fun. Now, should we use blue if our background is going to be blue? No. So you think about how you want to paint them. I'm not going to use blue because I want to paint my sky blue. If you want to do a sunset, that's okay too. You can pick whatever colors you want to make your birds. So I'm going to go purple. And I'm going to go push nice and hard because next time when we paint these birds, we're going to be, that's okay. If you're pushing hard and you break a crayon, that's not the end of the world. If you're trying to break your crayon on purpose, then Miss Darlack's not happy. All right, so I want you to push down nice and hard because we are going to be painting with our tempera cakes, and the tempera cakes are a little bit thicker, so we need to make sure that we have nice thick lines. If you want to keep the same color for your wing, you can. I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to make a red. Nope, I didn't go along that line, but that's okay. There we go. All right, now I want my next one. Maybe my next one will be green. a green wing, and maybe orange, an orange body. So I'm pushing down nice and hard. I'm even kind of coloring on the line instead of just making one line. I'm kind of pushing a little bit harder so it's a nice thick line. I would like you to do the same thing. So make sure they're pushing nice and hard. Maybe I'm going to color this one a little bit more too, now that I said that. Oops. There we go. Oops. Now I got to color that in. All right, and the last one, maybe I'm going to do a purple wing. And a green body. Again, if you decide that you want to do like a sunset or a different color sky than blue, because sometimes skies can be orange, sometimes they can be pinkish, right? Then you can do a blue bird if you want to. Okay. And then for our beaks, we're going to go yellow. So I'm just going to color in, and we have our pencil line so you can actually see the pencil lines through the yellow, but we're just going to color that whole beak in. That's too small of an area to try to paint. So we're going to color in our beak. And then we're going to make our leggies orange. Push down nice and hard. Oh, orange bird has orange legs. All right. There we go. All right. Next, you're gonna color your flower. You can do the middle of your flower, whatever color you want. And we're gonna color it all in because again, that's a really small little area. I'm gonna do a green stem, and we're gonna color in our leaves too because they're pretty small. And then maybe I'll do a pink flower. I haven't used pink yet. And that's big enough, I think, that we can paint the pink flower. Or if you wanted to leave it white, you could do that too next week. But you have to go over it with some color because we have to make a barrier to tell the paint from the outside, don't go in there, right? All right, and our last thing is we need to add some grass at the bottom just so we can see the whole picture. I'm just gonna go over that. I'm just gonna do a little zigzag line for the grass at the bottom. Okay. And we are now all done and ready to paint these beautiful little stacked birds. I cannot wait to come back and see the beautiful creations that you have made. All right, boys and girls, have a good afternoon. Bye-bye. Gotta turn it off and goodbye.